platform that you can use to develop application simplicity, and then you're able to do what? To publish it, and it works on every Android device. Likewise, to do what? To iOS. So in Android, we have some platforms. One of the platforms that we have is like the first one that is really plain, and the one that we have in Android is what? Is Java with XML. And another one we have Kotlin with XML. So you can either use Kotlin and Java. So if you write Java, it will only work on Android operating system if you make an application using Java. So I would like you to be attentive, whether you're new in programming or you're already there. All I beg from you is to be attentive. You see, after this time, we're going to have some rest, so don't worry. We're going to have some break, and then we'll resume. So try to be attentive so that you can learn. So as I told you, we have the Java itself. That Java, it will work on Android operating system only, the Java with XML, and then Kotlin with XML will work on Android operating system only. Then we have, then there came up a need of creating applications that can work on either iOS operating system or Android. So when that need rise up, then they had to figure out a way how we can write a single based code and you can execute it on either of the operating systems. So that one, it brought an introduction to what we call cross-platform frameworks. So that framework will do the whole logic between you and the Java or the Kotlin or a certain programming language there between, and then the operating system itself. So for you, all what you need, you'll just interface with that framework, and then that framework will translate your code into the real mobile application. So it saves you not to write the same code for different operating systems. I mean, not write same code twice for different operating systems. And also, it reduces a lot of things that were not put into practices when the other ones were being developed. For example, you realize that if you're developing using Java, Android with Java, to show something on the screen, you need to at least two different files. The first file will be the design, the XML file. The second file will be now the back end, the Java file, the logic, now that will be doing logic. So these two files, you write two separate codes, and you'll be forced to link the first file, the XML or the interface, with the code. So you'll find it's really hectic. So using frameworks, it will solve all that problem in a way that you can write your code for the back end and for the front end in the same file and with simplicity. So we have a list of technologies that can do the same piece of stuff. So the question would be now, why did you choose to teach Flutter, yet there are some other technologies? So as a developer or as a programmer, of course, you'll always try to figure out something that will make for you effective work with less energy input. But there are also any kind of program that there are also technologies that will do too much work to achieve something small, but will achieve the same things. So that's what we considered, doing something that's really effective and beautiful and well performing, but with less energy to put in and as well as time. So before you choose a certain technology, you have to look at such a things. Then after looking at them, you look at now what others are doing. In fact, that is what you always look for. Look at, oh, okay, for example, you've decided to learn Flutter. Are there jobs for Flutter developers? So before you get yourself inside and deep into Flutter, you have to also find out what the market is looking for. So there are different statistics, or there are different open knowledge sources on internet that you can base on to do what? To find what is trending or what people are looking for at that particular moment, as well as tracing what has happened in the history. So that when you're making a decision to start learning a certain language or a certain technology, you have a backup of information. So one of the sources that we use is Google Trends. So if you never heard of Google Trends, I'm going to introduce it to you now. If you've heard it before, then well and good. Just, you know, we are mixed here. Some are pros, some are not pros. So let us harmonize with each other. But even though you're pro, you learn something new, or you'll be able to practice. If you're new, totally new, then you're the one you're looking for, and then you also learn something from scratch. So as I'm saying, there's a technology called Google Trends. As you know, every time you want to search for something, where do you go? You go to Google. Every time you want to find a solution, you want to find an answer, so you go to Google. So it means that Google is the most powerful search engine on the internet. So, you know, you go to Google when you have a problem. You cannot go to Google just when you don't have really a problem. So it means that Google knows everyone's problem. Almost, it knows everyone's problem, and it saves this data. So Google Trends is a platform that gets the data from the previous searches of Google and summarize it for you. For example, you want to see how things have been going the last year. What have Ugandans been searching? You can go to Google Trends. They will show you this information publicly for free. So Google Trends can also help you to compare. Okay, on this and this, which one is more powerful, which one is more trending? Okay, let's do this and we see what I'm talking about. So it's Google Trends. Google, just search Google Trends like this. I hope you have somewhere to note. Don't just watch, because I expect you to be noting it. You're not wasting time. So this Google Trends, the first one, so it was invented in 2006 until now. So it has 16 years in recording the data. So based on this 16 years information from the entire world, it can help you to make an informative decision. So I'll go to Google Trends. This is how it looks like. So they will show you what people are searching recently. They will give you reports. You want to see the report of the last year. You want to see the reports of different years. It is here. So when you click here, they'll give you a whole summary of what went on in 2019, even in different countries. What did Ugandans search in specific year, with the songs and everything. Just know everything that you search on Google. So here they'll summarize for you the whole year. Now, for example, I will not go so much deep into that. You can see here, my current country is Uganda. So let us search, for example, about coronavirus. I want to show you just how Google Trends works. All this is part of practicals. Don't say here irrelevant. No, it's all part of what? Part of practicals and how we can get all this kind of information to succeed in real world, because after your graduation you're going to face the real world. So I've just searched coronavirus. Now you can see I'm targeting Uganda only. So in here they're going to show me the results for Uganda only. So if I say I want worldwide, so it means that they're going to get the result according to the whole world. So the graph of Uganda and the graph of the whole world is not the same. It's almost the same. So if I come here to period, I can say maybe in the past hour, in this particular hour, how has people searched coronavirus? So you can see from here. Now I can say maybe in the past 7 days, so I can now say in past, I can even create a custom range. I can say in past 5 years. So if I say past 5 years, it will give me the data according to the past 5 years. So you see, let me change here and set a custom. I can say maybe since from please. So You see, this is since 2020. Let me say maybe since 2019. Okay, you know, Corona happened in 2020. So I want just to get a picture of something. So can you see? In 2019 there was nothing like Corona, like Corona. Then in January 2020, February 2020, you see, it started. So people searched. So if you wanted to open a business in this time, you don't know where you could do what, where you could invest in. So these were the searches, like 100 searches per second. So you see, then it came on dropping. People got until now. So people got shoes, and you see now no one is searching. So that helps you to make an informative decision. Now you want to invest in maybe drugs. So instead of buying drugs of Corona, now you'll be doing a loss. Why? Because no one is no longer searching. But in this time, you could invest in here in this kind of business, and you do what? You really make business. So before you do an idea, before you go into an idea, you can do what? You can first search. So now let me come back maybe to past 90 days, and then I can search maybe, I can put back to Uganda. Maybe I want to search an scope of Uganda, and for example I can want to search Ebola, and you can see how people, you see, before no one was searching, so until it broke out, and then people started searching. So this one can help you to know where to invest in your energy. So you're still just relating the information. So this Google Analytics will help you to do such a thing. So now this Google Analytics has something called comparing. So a comparing will help you to compare different topics. So these technologies you're going to compare on the technology that are already known before I invest my energy in a certain technology. Can I compare and I see which one is most required or which one people are searching most? So now before we go into technology, for example, we want to search Spice Diana and Shiba. Who is the most favorite? For example, if I ask you right now, we can argue, you may say Spice Diana is the most favorable for people, but we will argue based on our own understanding, we two people in the room. But if we argue using this data, what people are really searching, then this will be informative argument. So if you want to invest in artists, maybe you want to invest in artists, maybe you want to sell your brand. So you want to know of Spice Diana and Shiba. They're almost equal, but you want to know exactly who is most trending at the moment. So what do? You just simply come to Go Trends, search Spice Diana. So Spice Diana, they will show you. So this is a term, means just a keyword, or they say is a Ugandan musician. So this one is specific. So Spice Diana first. So Spice Diana is being given blue. Let me say the period maybe for the last 12 years. Okay, I mean 12 months. Okay, for the last 12 months, that is how the graph of Spice Diana has been for the past year. Now I can now put here in the second section of compare, I put Shiba. Shiba Karungi, Uganda artist here. Then I click, and then so Shiba is for red, Spice Diana is for green. So can you see? These are now facts based on Google what? Google search results. So you can see Spice Diana is blue, 52%, and Shiba is 37%. So you can see who is leading. So at this, there is some time when Shiba was bigger than Spice Diana, this period. But averagely, Spice Diana is leading Shiba. So you now know, if you want to invest in the two, you now know who you can invest in. So you can see here also there are some other things that you have to see. You can see like Spice Diana is kind of dropping, but Shiba is dropping very well, like she's really dropping. Like you can see her slope is really steep. Her slope is so fast because this is the season. Of course, in December, we see them going up again. But you can see Spice is not really dropping. So there you can know where and what to invest in. You can say maybe for the past maybe 5 years. Of course, for the past 5 years, you may see Shiba was leading at some time, but Spice of the Blue has come on top. So you can go ahead and now filter by the region, maybe in Western region, how the search. So almost the one of blue is leading. So this one can help you to make a what? To make a decision. I'm trying to relate this because these are the tools that you're going to use in what? In real world. So before you invest in anything, first know what people want, or first know what people really want. So I hope you've now understood and realized the reason why we need Google Trends. Google Trends will help you to make informed decisions. Now let's come back to our own industry. So we have said we have different technologies. One is, okay, so there are now two main native programming mobile application platforms. One is Flutter and the second one is React Native. So we are going to find out which one are people searching at the moment, which one is most selling at this moment. So what do? Come to Go Trends, search Flutter. And then click Flutter as a software, of course, not as a topic, so software. So to go there. Now if you want to say maybe I want worldwide, or you want in a specific country or anything like that, maybe you can say maybe in the past 1 year, okay, let's say in the past 5 years, okay? So that is how Flutter has been performing. And then let us search now the React Native itself. So React Native. So React Native software. So you can see Flutter is leading React Native. So sometimes, you know, React Native is the one that came first. If you didn't know, React Native came first. So sometimes React Native was on top, really on top. It came on top, then Flutter was started in 2017. It started, so you see, in this year, which year was this? January 2020, Flutter surpassed, surpassed what? Surpassed React Native. And it surpassed so much and forever almost. So it is really on top, and React Native, even though it started in the market, is on bottom of what? Of Flutter. So there you can make a what? You can make a decision that is basing on what? On the real decision. I mean on real information that people are searching from Google to solve their day-to-day problems. So this is a period of last 12 months. Still Flutter is leading. You can see Flutter is leading, like React will never pass Flutter again. So I'm doing this because I don't want to go again and search much more deep to prove the point that Flutter is the one leading. Though you can choose which one is more comfortable to you as a developer and take your own path. So as we can see here, Flutter is the one leading. So that's one of the reasons why we choose Flutter. And the second reason is I've developed using both React Native, Java itself, and also Kotlin and Flutter. And I know the truth is Flutter is the best, and you can search more on the internet to know the reason why. So Flutter is reading. That's why at the moment the one that is training, so I have to give you something that is latest, that is on market, that is training. Maybe in future another technology will come in and it will also surpass Flutter. And as a programmer, you have to learn every day and adopt it. So that's according to Go Trends. Now, if you're a developer, we are still in introduction. I want you to get the perception. If you're a developer, if you're a real true developer, there's one thing. If you're not a mediocre, like you've been developing, or if you're to become a developer, there is one thing that you can't miss as a developer in your life, which is Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is a place where you'll find is a platform where programmers ask questions and they get solution or answers. So Stack Overflow is like Google for developers. Very, 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 very important platform for every developer. At least every day a developer has to search something and get a solution from what? A serious developer. From what? From Google, from Stack Overflow. So if you go ahead and search Stack Overflow, you will see it there. So it is number one, it has no competitor, although GitHub also has some place where it shows solutions to some problems. But Stack Overflow started in 2008 and it has done its thing. All the solutions that you have, almost every problem that you'll get, you'll find a solution on Stack Overflow. And if in case you have a question, you can ask something on Stack Overflow. So why am I bringing Stack Overflow here? So since Stack Overflow is also providing a solution, it also provides solutions to developers. On the other side, it also does collect data to help developers. Someone saying Stack Overflow is a lifesaver. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. It's a lifesaver. Without Stack Overflow, most of us wouldn't be here, unfortunately. But anyway, so it's a solution. It's there, and we appreciate it. So what I'm trying to say, Stack Overflow also collects data if you didn't have an idea. So since it solves people's problem, it saves people's lives, it saves people's jobs. It also does what? It also does collect data according to what people are suffering from, or what people are going through. So when you search something and you get an answer on Stack Overflow will code that one down. When someone asks a question about a certain topic on Stack Overflow, it will code it down. So consequently, it provides also that data summarized in analytics. So that is called Stack Overflow Analytics, or they call it Stack Trends. Okay? So Stack Overflow Trends, it will also help you make informative decision. So when I click on Stack Overflow, you can also note it down, Stack Overflow Insights. Okay? It will help you also to make a decision. So here, Stack Overflow Trends is just like Go Trends, but this one is only for developers. Now, let us compare React Native and Flutter. So I just simply come and say React Native, this one, So you see how React Native has been performing in different years, okay? In 2014, no one was searching until 2014, and then people started searching like that. And let us compare it with what? With Flutter. Flutter, like this. So you see, Flutter is that gray one, okay, maroon one. So you can see Flutter has crazily surpassed React Native. So instead of us sitting two in a room and start arguing, you may win because you may be good at arguing, but these are now facts. These are people searching for problem solutions. So you can see Flutter has crazily surpassed what? Surpassed React Native. So it means that if you want to invest your energy, you have to make a crucial decision before you do what? Before you start investing that energy in a certain technology. So Flutter is really leading here. And then we have what you call, so you can come and compare different technologies. For example, someone talked about Xamarin of Windows, of Microsoft. Xamarin, so let us look at Xamarin. Can you see Xamarin? Who's talked about Xamarin? Okay, I'm not laughing, but that's a fact. You see where Xamarin is sinking, is down, but some companies need it, and there are some jobs of Xamarin, but you can see you can't compare Xamarin with Flutter. You can't compare Xamarin with what? You can compare, but basing on the data, most people, they have found Flutter as their best choice, and I'm not saying as my own, but you can see Xamarin is even crashing, it's going down. It's really going down. So whoever is investing in Xamarin, you should be having a strategic motive. If there's a specific company that wants the mind developer and they think that's where you want to be, then go for it. If it's what you like, no problem. But the community really matters, and you can see Flutter has the biggest community in these 3 platforms that provide cross-platform mobile application development. So lastly, we have what we call Stack Overflow blog. That Stack Overflow blog, if you're a developer, you can start following it. You just go and search Stack Overflow blog. Okay, that one you can always find, just like the way how people who are interested in entertainment have their blogs and the rest. So this is blog for what? For developers. So you can find here interesting articles that Stack Overflow people write. So one of the Stack Overflow article that it has been produced in 2022 is this one: why Flutter is the most popular cross-platform SDK. So here they'll tell you the reason why it is the one trending. Okay, so they'll tell you the whole story here, and what are people reacting, and you can also be part and start reacting. So that's it. I believe we are both convinced that it will be better for majority to start with Stack Overflow. I mean, to start with Flutter. Though if you have your personal interest in other technologies, of course, you're free to go ahead and learn whatever you want. So,
Mubarak.
yes, sir.
Mubarak.
Yes, sir.
This is excellent. The fact that you even have some developers on the system, on the call, in the class, and I would like to take a minute and we get the feedback, because sometimes people develop without knowing why you should use a particular platform. And you know, from our work is that a choice of a platform is a very critical decision a developer or a development team must make at the very beginning of your project. So I want to take just 1 minute or two to get like opinions from 1 or 2, 3 people, whether this kind of conversation we just shared with them adds
exactly
value to them and what their thoughts. It will not change what. It gives us a sort of a direction. Yes. This is remember, this is student-centered learning.
That is very good. Okay, now let's see. That is very, very good, sir. I appreciate. Before I even get started, it's very good to hear from you. Just how we did in the first. So can we hear at least from? We're going to get like 3 people who are already in development. They give us the review, and then at least 2 people who are who have not started developing, who are aspiring to start developing, and they also give us their views. So by the use of arms, you put your arm up, please kindly feel free, and I'll choose you, and then you'll speak, you'll give us a review. We begin with the developers who are really developing, who are already in the industry. Can you please put your arm up? And
I can see the hands. I see Norbert, I see Kato, Brian.
I'm not seeing them. Oh, okay. Hey, okay. Let's begin with Brian. We'll take those 3, sir. Thank you so much. Brian, tell us something. Yeah.
Well, good evening, everyone. Okay, for my case, I also first did like Java development for apps. That was, is it in 2019, something like that. I did it, but what disturbed me that said was styling up the XML, like to make the app beautiful, because when we are designing apps, so of course we need to put users like at the forefront, like the UI has to be like so good so that people can keep using our app. So of course when I used Java and XML things were not working out. Like it was a struggle to bring out like some good design. You'd have to write like 500 lines of code to bring out some simple animation. But when I transferred to Flutter, life got easier. And on top of that, I also wanted that cross-platform part of it, like to have my app on various platforms. And of which when I was using Java, that wasn't possible, but Flutter made it easier. So in most cases, yeah, I recommend Flutter, and that's what I use for all my apps and also clients apps that I work on.
Thank you so much, Brian. So that's a testimonial. Thank you so much, Brian. I think there's no comment on that. Maybe what I can comment on, I also started with Java, but it was so much painful, exactly what you said. But when I went to React, it was painful, still React Native, and I'm now in Flutter, and I'm not regretting at the moment. Yeah, so if you don't have people, if you don't have environment like this of people who inspire you, you may end up wasting much of your time doing something that you're going to realize that was not a right choice. So for those who are new developers here, from what we are discussing here, I hope it will help guide you to start with the right thing. Hopefully. So let us hear from Patrick, please. Patrick, tell us something. Patrick, I see.
Yes, thank you. For me, what I want to say is that basically I started with React Native, like I say. And so far, because I started with React, it was easy for me to switch to React Native, and everything was good and nice. It was not stressing me. But like you said, obviously you have to go with that trend. So I had started learning Flutter, I think like 15 days ago. Yeah, just to keep up with that trend, because you have to go with where the world is going. Yeah, but that's what I can say. If you're good at something, you can switch, and if an opportunity comes for React Native, I know I can be there. If an opportunity comes for Flutter, I can take up that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patrick. I appreciate. Thank you so much. There's no comment. Thank you. So let us hear from Kato, and then we go to those who have never developed before. Kato.
Yes, I was still talking, but my network went off before. So I was saying the reason I did some React Native, but since I didn't know much of JavaScript, I left it. It required someone to know React very well. And I've never done Flutter, but I was ready to enroll in class and learn it from there. My development journey is mostly iOS because I use a MacBook for my personal daily things. And also, why I talked about Xamarin, in web, I've been doing ASP.NET Core. So I wanted to learn everything around it, maybe how to develop Windows desktop apps, cross-platform, but not as it's what I was going to use in my development journey. For iOS, why I picked it first was that some of the apps I was trying to develop required you to tap in the iPhone settings. So you can't tap into the iPhone settings or use iPhone resources very well without using Swift or Objective-C programming language. So, for example, the app I'm doing right now is a tours app that basically it shows you the game parks and everything and the animals that are there. So I was supposed to use Apple's map library. So I don't know if at all it's easy to use when you're doing cross-platform, but since I wanted to do Mac OS things, I wanted to do Watch OS, everything basically around Apple devices, I decided to start with Swift and iOS development. But I'm ready to learn Flutter in class, and my group mates, we had already discussed that I will have to pick up with whatever that we go with in class so that I participate very well.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you so much. Yeah, what you're saying is true. If you're doing C#, of course, adopting Xamarin is much more simple. Xamarin is much limited, and Flutter is providing. We have what we call Flutter packages. So Flutter packages, they are providing so many solutions. Almost every day they produce a new package that helps you to connect with the real native application. For For example, that one of map, we already have a library for Google Map there out. So if you want to integrate with map, direction, and everything, even at this moment I'm doing an application that has integration with what? With map, the GPS, and even accessing most of the things in the what? In the from the operating system itself. So don't feel afraid to get started with Flutter. All those solutions are already there, most of them. Like that of map is already there, GPS is already there. Yeah, thank you. Let us hear from Patrick, and then we'll have one person who has never developed to also tell us their perception. Thank you. Patrick, say? Okay. Okay, I think...
I'd already put it through my hand.
Thank you. Okay, Moses, say something.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Actually, I've never done mobile development before. I've been doing web application. I've been doing actually a lot of Laravel, thought of starting on React. Because if you have to realize, React.js is for the front end, and you realize also there's React Native that is for the back end and is for the mobile application. So I thought if you had to first learn React, then you just go and learn React Native. Me, as personally, I thought it was a good idea, but as for today, I've realized that that is really so good. So I think we shall just go with that. And me, I'll just go with that. Because that's what I thought before. Thank you.
Thank you, Moses. Yeah, you can still take React and Flutter, but React is best for web front end. Is very good, but it's not. React Native is not good for mobile applications. Really limited. Though it can be simpler for you, but you should know, life of a developer, you have to always be able and ready to do what, to learn once you find a solution. Because once you pass through 1 year of learning, the next year it will be just like a normal language that we speak every day when you're contented with everything. So please go ahead and take those decisions in time, and you will not regret. Yeah, let us hear from one lady and then we move on. A lady who is aspiring to start programming. Anyone? A lady who wants to start programming and say something. Yes, Olga. We can't hear you. And Susan. We can't hear you yet.
Sorry.
Okay, Susan, begin. Susan, say something.
Hello.
Yes, hello, speak louder. Yes, Susan, comment.
Okay, for me, I was confused. My friends, like our group mate, like wanted us. Okay, he's good in React, so I was confused. Like I was in making decision whether to learn React or Flutter, but for now, I think I'm beginning to learn Flutter. I've decided.
Okay, thank you so much for that comment. Then Olga. Olga.
Hello.
Yes, Olga, yes.
And for me, I had started learning Flutter like 2 months ago now, and I'm loving the experience. And I'm more excited now.
That's beautiful. What have you made so far?
Some cards, like something that can display your picture and what you do. I have also made another Quizler app, like it asks you some stuff, you say it's true or false. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you for taking that step. That is very good. Okay, Dr. Drake, wrap it up and then we start with practical, sir, if you're there.
Yes, I'm here. I'm following. I think this is excellent. So we have an idea. Why I wanted to emphasize is that it is very, very critical for the students, future developers or software engineers to appreciate why we make choices for certain technologies. And this is the basis of this course, really, that we are teaching you to live and go and work in the industry. So I'm seeing a few guys who are saying they are good. So if you are really good, hopefully, I don't know if I have ever made a call in this class, but you can really drop your CV. We have some of the interesting things. Maybe we can work with you if you have some free time on some of live projects, and maybe you never know where the direction can take us. Without wasting much time, I think I let Muhindo to proceed on what we're trying to do.
Thank you.
I can see the very first app is called Hello World.
Yeah, that's where everyone begins from. Yeah, thank you. I hope, guys, you have noticed that if you're good at Flutter and Laravel programming, you email Dr. Drake your CV. You never know. You can start working with us straight. Yeah, actually, this is very good class where most of the people have already started experiencing. So don't forget that. Email your CV to Dr. Drake. Okay, so let's get started with the business. Since almost everyone here has some experience, I've done something, I've already started something in programming. I'm going to be a little bit faster, and then we start real practicals, creating mobile applications as we are sharing different. Me, I will always emphasize good practices. If you're already experienced, I'm sure still you learn something new from what I'll be sharing. Or you also advise us and we learn something new from you. Okay, so with that much said, let's begin now how you can set up your Flutter environment. So to set up Flutter environment, as we said before, Flutter depends on a programming language called Dart. I've already created a video that will guide you to set up your environment step by step by step by step, like click here, click here. So I will share with you that resource immediately after class. So don't mind if you don't get the whole thing of setting up the environment. I'll share with you the video that will take you step by step. Also, the reason why we are doing this is just for you to get the idea, to get the perception of the step that will be taken for you to get started. So let's begin. So as we said, Flutter depends on what? On a programming language called Dart. So to start using Flutter, you need Dart programming language installed in your phone. In your laptop, in your computer. And then after you install an editor, and then after you install the Flutter SDK, and then configure, and then after you'll be able to do what? To create Flutter applications. Though your computer needs to be slightly powerful, at least you should be having 4 GB of RAM, at least. Otherwise, if you'd have less than that, it would be just painful. So you need to invest in yourself. If you're really interested in learning these things, having a bad computer will also demoralize you. At least have 4 GB of RAM. Those who are still using hard disks, get rid of them if you want to become a real developer. If you don't know hard disk, this is what I mean. I'm looking at the new people. We have 2 types of disks. So this is the one that I'm talking about, hard disk. Okay. So if this is what is still in your computer, please get at least like 250,000 and go and change it to this. And change it to what? And change it to this SSD. So SSD will be like 30% faster than what? Than hard disk. So this is the disk that I'm talking about. You see? The other one has a drive, but this one is kind of what? A memory card. So note that one down. As you're setting up the environment, will all begin with your own device. If your device is really poor, then it will just be demoralized. So please put that one in your plans. If your computer has hard disk, the first thing you should do is to change it to SSD so that your laptop can be faster. Then, after putting the SSD, now the next that we're going to do, we are going to install that programming language in our computers. Then I'll introduce you to that programming language. Then after introducing you to that programming language, then we'll go into Flutter programming. Because here we are considering the newbies and also the pros, all of them together. So, to install that programming language, I've told you I'll share with you the video that will show you step by step, but here I just want you to get the perception. So you just simply come to Google and search that or install that. Okay, so this is a step. So this is the command that run on what on Linux device. So to install that, you just simply come here, get that.sdk there, and then you'll be able. So if you're using Windows, click here, and then they'll show you the steps that you will take to do what? To download that. Okay. That programming language. So if you're using Linux, you just write these simple pieces of code. It will put that in your program in your laptop. If you're using if you're using Mac OS, simply write this in your terminal. Then it will install that programming language into your computer. So, as I've said, don't worry. I will share with you a video that will show you step by step of how you can install that programming language in your computer and how you can configure it. So once you have installed that programming language in your computer, I'll show you then how you can do it, how you can configure it up to the extent that you can run that. So I'll not download it and install it. Why? Because I already have it in my laptop. So as a programmer, you should also try to be kind of self-independent, because most of the time the teacher will not be there for you to help you solve the problems. For example, me, I'll teach you the perception, the knowledge itself. But it is up to you to see how you become creative and make use of that knowledge. When a client will come to you and say he wants a mobile application that has a map, then I've never taught you a map. Then you will not need again to come to me. Now sir, you taught us, but I don't know how to integrate a GPS. No. Once I teach you the basics of how you can get started, now integrating GPS, integrating what, map, the rest, all those things, it will be up to you. And where will you find the solution? You'll find the solution from internet. So you see, install that programming. You see, there are already like 4 videos that are suggested to me. I cannot try this video following it step by step like 5 times, and I try this one like 5 times, and I try this one like 5 times, and I still fail. You see? So you have to really try something multiple times that you find on internet, and through that way, you'll be able to learn. And once you learn something in programming, you learn it forever. If you don't know it, of course you don't know it, because you're not the one who created the programming language. So go ahead and install that. The videos are here, and I'll share you my own video that I created that will show you step by step how to create that, how to install that programming language. So, and another thing, you should be able to be self-sufficient. Before you ask for help, first try like 20 times. When you totally fail, then call your friend or call your teacher, something like that. So, once you successfully install that, you'll be able to run this. If you go to your terminal, I don't know if they can see my screen. Let me increase the font. Okay, it can be increased. So now when you go to the terminal is a command line. Eh? When you go to the terminal, and after you follow the step that I'll show in the video to install that, you just simply write that. Okay, so when you write that, at this moment you will not see anything, but when you write it, when you write it once you have successfully installed that, this is what you will see. You'll see that it is responding in what? In terminal or in command line. So if you write that and put dash version, you'll be able to see the that version. So once you're able to see something like this, then you'll be confident and sure that you have successfully installed that programming language in your computer. So that is the first task that you will do, and I'll share with you the steps. And maybe by the time we begin the next class, you should be able to run that command, and you get what you expected. I mean, you get such a kind of result. It can be hard. It's not hard, but it can be hard. But I promise it cannot take you more than 2 hours. So if it's worth the 2 hours, why not do what it takes, and then you'll be able to do it to get it. So now let's begin with basics of that. I'm going to introduce, as I told you, this is going to be a class for anyone, both pros and newbies. Okay. So after you have successfully installed that, the next thing that you will install the what? The editor. Okay, the editor. I forgot the name, how we call them. Okay, the text editor. SDK. This is what we call them. SDK. No, it's not SDK. So the text editor like Visual Visual Studio. Okay. So Visual Studio will help you to develop or to write. Someone's put the name in that in the tab that I forgot. How do you call it? Use practicing on that. Okay, you can go to the dev and use practicing. Okay, someone is suggesting in the chat the steps that you can take to get started. So you install, then the next thing that you install the text editor. The text editor that we're going to use, Visual Studio Code. Okay. So Visual Studio Code will help us to organize or to write our code in with simplicity. So go ahead and install Visual Studio Code. I'll also show you the video how you can download it either on Windows or to your to your laptop. I mean to your Mac. Just simply search Visual Studio Code download. You will be able to get the download from here, the first search result, and then go ahead and download for Windows if you're using Windows, if you're using Linux, if you're using Mac. Download. When it finishes downloading, click on install. When it finishes installing, look for the icon and then go ahead and launch that Visual Studio Code. So here is my Visual Studio Code. For those who don't know Visual Studio Code, this is how it will look like when you open it for the very first time. So once you have it there for the very first time, the next thing that you're going to do is now to create a folder or your working folder, the one that you're going to use to develop the programming. Okay. So I had already created a folder, but I'm going to create a fresh one so that you can get everything step by step. So to do that, I'll simply come to my desktop. So for those who are using Windows, go to your desktop, then right click and say new folder. If you save your things on what? On desktop. So here I can give this folder a name. So I can call it learn _ dat. Okay. I already have it. Okay, so let me say learn dat. Okay, so this is my folder. This one here, learn dat. So you can name it anything that you want. So after creating a folder, the next thing you're going to open this folder in your Visual Studio Code. Okay, so you'll go ahead and open a Visual Studio Code that is here. So there are two ways of how you can open it. The first way is just simply drag and drop it here. The second way is just simply click on Visual Studio Code, then come to File, then come to File, then come to Open Folder. Then once you click on Open Folder, you'll be able to navigate to the particular folder that you want. So for example, I can go ahead and select the one that I've just created now, which is learn dat. Where is it? In desktop. learn that. Okay, so I can drag and drop it. Yeah, that's for the simplicity to save time. So I'll have my folder open in Visual Studio Code. So once you have your folder open in Visual Studio Code, the next thing that you're going to do is now to start now creating files of that programming. So if you totally new in programming, all what you should know is that everything in programming is just a file. They're just files. So you write your things just like the way you write your normal things, but in what? In files. So I'm going to now create my first program in what? In that programming language. So to create a first program in that programming language, for those who are really new, I want to tell you one thing that maybe you did not know, and that is and those who are already programmers, by the way, let me tell you something that you also may need to know if you didn't know it. That is what we call, that's file extensions. As long as a programmer, you have to know that file extensions exist. And as a programmer, you have to be able to see every file extension of every, you should be able to see file extension of each file. So the question is, what is a file extension? A file extension is a part that is added at the end of a certain file name to help the operating system know which type of a file is it, so that it should open it with a software that is supposed to do what? To open it. So we have different types of file. Okay, our first session is over. Our time is up. Let's go for a break of only 5 minutes. Then we come back, and you can, by the way, you can be around, don't leave the meeting, but you can just breathe for only 5 minutes, and then we come back for the last session where we're going to now do the practicals. So don't leave. Just let us know by 32 past 3, we should be here for the last session. Let's go and breathe for a minute here.